Welcome to the Daily Decant, your 5-minute briefing on the world of wine. Each episode delivers practical insights to help you choose, order, and talk about wine with more confidence in everyday social settings. Let's get into today's decant. It's the practical episode of the week, and this is Fortified Wines Week if you're just tuning in. And I think Fortified Wines rewards the practical approach more than almost any other category we've covered on the show. Because the most common reason people don't engage with it is a combination of not knowing what to buy, not knowing when to drink it, and not knowing what to do with the rest of the bottle after they open it. Let's address all three here. So how long fortified wine to keep after opening? Because this is the question that most affects everyday buying decisions. Pinot and Manzanilla sherry, treat it like a fresh white wine. Once opened, keep refrigerated and consume within 1 to 2 weeks at most, ideally within 3 to 5 days. The delicate floral character that makes these wines so distinctive fades quickly once exposed to air, and an old, open Pinot is noticeably less fresh and less interesting than a new one. Amontillado, Oloroso, and the oxidative sherry styles are more robust, and they will keep refrigerated for 2 to 4 weeks without significant quality loss, since they've already been partially oxidized during production and are more stable. Ruby Port and LBV, once opened, consume within 3 to 5 days refrigerated. Tawny Port, the most robust of the ports, will keep for 2 to 4 weeks refrigerated with only modest quality decline. Vintage Port, once opened, consume within 2 to 3 days as the wine is unoxidized and will deteriorate relatively quickly. Madeira, as we covered on Thursday, is almost indefinitely. Buy a bottle of open Madeira kept at room temperature will remain interesting and complex for a few weeks or months. Vermouth, once opened, refrigerate and consume within 2 to 4 weeks. Serving temperatures. Pinot and Manzanilla sherry serve very cold, around 6 to 8 degrees Celsius, colder than you'd serve most white wines. This is a temperature that best shows their freshness and saline character. Amontillado and Oloroso, slightly warmer. PX and sweet sherries, slightly cool, around 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. Ruby and LBV Port, slightly cooler than room temperature. Tawny Port, this is the one that surprises most people, slightly chilled, and is actually wonderful for Tawny. The wine's nutty dried fruit complexity shows beautifully with a slight chill and makes it one of the finest aperitif wines in the wine world in this form. Next, Vintage Port, look for room temperature or to be very slightly cool. Madeira, room temperature or very slightly cool for the drier styles and slightly cooler for the sweeter ones. Now let's talk producers by category. For port, grams for broad range and consistent quality at every tier. Quinta Crostó for single Quinta estate wines. Fonseca for excellent vintage port at slightly more accessible prices. Ramos Pinto for innovative and food-forward styles. Sherry Lustau for the most comprehensive, reliable, and widely available range of serious sherry styles. Hidalgo Gitana for specifically for Manzanilla, El Mastro Sierra for aged Amontillado and Oloroso of exceptional quality. Bodegas Tradición for Vors aged ultra-premium sherries. Madeira. Blandies is the most accessible and widely available. The Oliveiras for serious aged Madeiras, including genuine vintage wines. Vermouth, look for Carpano Antica formula for sweet Italian vermouth. Dolin for dry French vermouth. Value picks at every tier. Under $15, a basic Ruby Port from Grams or Fonseca for an introduction to the category. A Fino or Manzanilla from the Lustau family Solera range at around $12 to $15 for the best value in sherry. $15 to $35, Grams LBV at around $18 to $20. Lustau's Amontillado or Oloroso at around $15 to $20. A 5-year Madeira from Blandies. $35 to $60, you're going to be looking at Grams or Quinta do Crostó 20-year Tawny. Lustau's Vors range for extraordinarily aged sherry. And above $60, single Quinta vintage port in a declared year. Blandies 10-year single variety Madeira. Almacenista single producer sherries. The 5 occasions where fortified wine is the best possible choice. 1. Aperitif hour, a chill glass of Fino Manzanilla or Tawny Port over ice. 2. Cheese course, any port or Oloroso sherry with a cheese board or the PX with blue cheese specifically. 3. Dessert, PX over vanilla ice cream, Tawny with a nut tart, Sauterne style sweet sherry with creme brulee. 4. A long afternoon, Madeira at room temperature, which you can return to over hours without it deteriorating. And 5. A gift for someone who knows wine. An aged Tawny or a vintage Madeira will almost certainly be something they've never received before and will really appreciate. Tomorrow, the wrap-up, you won't want to miss it. That's today's Daily Decant. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends so you can continue building your wine knowledge in just a few minutes a day. We'll see you tomorrow for the next decant.